Hello and welcome everyone. With this presentation, we want to get to know our product, the MyWorld Partnership, better. The goal is to get familiar with these features of the product in order to explain them easily to the potential loyalty merchant. Write down the test user account. This way, you will have insight on what a merchant sees daily in his partner app. This is a helpful tool when selling because you can show the merchant how easy it is to use our software. Today, we are talking about 3 topics. 1. Scan and Go, a simple tool for customers to book their sales. 2. The partnership contract. We will go through the merchant registration process. You will see that it's not rocket science. And lastly, the cashback deal, the most important tool for the merchant. In just a few steps, he can create a cashback deal for his customers and thus draw attention to his company. So let's get started with Scan and Go. In every business, when a customer makes a purchase, he either receives a receipt or an invoice. If it's a MyWorld loyalty merchant, he can scan his receipt or invoice with the MyWorld Benefit app and receive his benefits immediately. Firstly, the customer must be registered at MyWorld. This way, he has the MyWorld Benefit app on his smartphone. As soon as he opens the app, the Scan and Go button appears in the middle of the home screen. During the first scan, the customer is asked to activate his geolocation. This step is mandatory. Otherwise, it's not possible to determine which merchant the customer is currently situated. So, activate the geolocation and select the merchant you are currently at. Usually the respective merchant is visible on top of the list since the app recognizes that the customer is currently on the merchant's premises. Then, press the green button again in the middle of the screen in order for the Scan and Go window to open. As soon as the invoice is marked with a green frame, the shopper clicks on the green button. The scan result will now appear. The date, time, invoice number, and amount should be displayed entirely and correctly. If all this information is correct, simply press the green button below and submit the invoice. After that, a screen appears where the customer immediately sees how much cash back and how many shopping points he will receive for this purchase. In addition, he receives a push notification with the same information. Done. In order to prevent misuse and to protect the merchant, there are some important criteria that must be met in order to enable the automatic release of the scan transactions. These criteria are: 1. The scan must be completed within 30 minutes of the purchase. 2. The scan must be within 1 kilometer of the merchant's location. And 3. The scanned amount must not exceed the value defined by the merchant. If one of these criteria is not met, the scan cannot be approved automatically, but must be confirmed by the merchant first. We'll get to that shortly. The merchant can see all automatically approved transactions in his partner app and can check them in real time. Now let's see what happens if one or more of the required criteria for an automatic approval are not met. The process is the same as before. Open the app, open the scanner, activate geolocation, select merchant, and scan invoice. After the scan, the software detects if a criteria is not met. Either the scan was carried out too late, for example, the next day, or the customer is no longer in the merchant's area, or the amount defined by the merchant was exceeded. Now the customer receives this message: your invoice is being verified by the merchant. The merchant can now see in his back office that he has pending scans that have to be confirmed. He now has 3 options. First option: the merchant confirms the transaction. In this case, a window opens, and he can check the scanned invoice. For example, he sees if the invoice is from him, or if the amount is correct. He can now approve the invoice if everything is okay. Second option: he rejects the invoice. In this case, a window will open where there are some predefined reason as to why he rejected the invoice. He clicks on one of these, or enters a user-defined reason as to why he rejected the invoice. He then clicks on the Reject button. Now, the customer receives a message where he will be informed about the rejection and reason for it. The third option for the merchant is to not react at all. So, if he neither confirms nor rejects the sale, the invoice is automatically released for booking after a 10-day waiting period. So you see, Scan and Go is a very simple tool to book the customer's purchases. And it's a way for the entrepreneur to reward his customers without having to invest a lot of extra effort or time. So let's move on to the merchant registration. The goal of a sales presentation is to close the deal. Without aiming for closing the deal, it's just a nice conversation, but neither conversational partner gains anything. So get to the point and ask the merchant if he wants to get started right away. If you have a free partnership available by purchasing a shopping point pack, then don't just give it away, but only offer the free partnership to the merchant under certain conditions. For example, I would like to sign in several merchants here in your region, and if you give me 1 or 2 contacts from your immediate area, I'll cover the cost for the partnership for you. I think every merchant will take advantage of this offer because every merchant knows other merchants. Let's start with the registration. Go to www.partner.myworld.com and click on Become a Partner Now. The first page will ask for the recommender. In this case, it is you. Enter your Lycanet ID here. If you have a small, medium, or large shopping point pack and still have free memberships available, the price on the right side is automatically set to 0. If you already registered the merchant as a MyWorld member beforehand, you can now enter his MyWorld ID here. If not, just skip this part. With the registration, the merchant is automatically a direct one of yours since you entered your ID as the recommender on page 1. In the next step, the merchant's email address is required, which will be used from now on as his username. Here you can also set a password for logging in as well. We also need his cell phone number. Now it's time to fill in the company details. What is the company or trade name? In many cases, they differ from each other. Example, the trade name is Restaurant Surf and Turf, whereas the company name is Miller & Sons Limited. After that, add the commercial register number or tax number, and at last, the entrepreneur's name. The address of the company and how to contact the merchant by phone. Does he have a website? Now choose the industry and category of the company. This way, the system automatically determines the applicable mediator commission, which cannot be changed. If the merchant wants to offer a higher margin, he can do this later by means of a cashback deal. If it is a company that can only offer less than 5%, for example, a gas station or grocery store, please speak to the country office in advance. Subsequently, the 5% will be adjusted to the agreed lower margin. We now add the electronic billing email of the entrepreneur. If he has a different billing email address, please enter the correct one here. And now, the payment. At the end, it's necessary to accept the general terms and conditions. You know the procedure from social media and all sorts of channels. And now you see the order overview. Here, the merchant can check once again that all the data has been entered correctly. If the merchant also has an online shop he wants to connect as well, he can do it here. He simply needs to click on Send Request. And after that, an employee from the online shop department will contact the merchant to discuss all the details. Depending on the country, this connection can cost between $299 and $399. And that's it. A very quick procedure. The merchant can now log into his partner suite or download the partner app. To do this, he uses the email address, username, and password that he specified at the beginning of the registration process. In the partner suite, he's now advised to provide the required documents. He can download and upload them here so they can be forwarded directly. In the marketing section under My Website, the merchant can now present himself to our customers. Here, the merchant can find an incredible number of settings to help him to recruit potential customers. A logo is essential these days. You can upload one here. On the right side, he will find instructions on how to proceed. Does the merchant have good pictures of his business or of the food, drinks, clothing, or whatever he is selling? This is the right place for a picture gallery. He can also enter keywords because, after all, he wants to be found by potential customers. Here, he can write down a short description and an extensive detailed description of his company, products, or services. Special notes are, for example, if he has a product that is not allowed to offer cashback due to government regulations, his locations, or the contact details from him or his employees, if he wants to provide them. And also, a very important note, does he offer a delivery service? Advertisement, advertisement, advertisement. A very important keyword for every entrepreneur. He has the option here of uploading an advertisement banner that makes him even more visible. Under Documents, he can, for example, upload a price list, product brochures, offers, menus, etc. So, with the MyWorld partnership, the merchant is completely well taken care of, and he can initiate advertising measures that he could only normally do if he had a website of his own and by paying monthly cost. Here, he has it all for free. In the Partner Suite, he will also find banners and logos that identify him as a MyWorld partner. He can use these for any existing websites and social media channels to draw attention to the fact that he now offers cashback, deals, and shopping points. And now, what is probably the most important point. Under the registration menu in the Partner app or in the download area of the Partner Suite, he will find the entry, Your Member Registration. There, he will find a QR code that can be sent to all of his customers so that they can register online right away. Additionally, he can also print out a poster including his QR code and place it somewhere in the shop where it's clearly visible. Customers who see the poster simply scan the QR code with their smartphone and can immediately register as his customers. He can also adjust the text accordingly. For example, register now and receive a free drink. He can create a tabletop display, poster, or sticker depending on the entrepreneur's wishes. Now let's move on to the final part in this presentation, the cashback deal. The cashback deal has the big advantage that the customers get the normal cashback, though the career points and marketing bonus are also paid out in cash. In addition, the merchant can create the cashback deal as high as he likes. As a result, the merchant is specially indicated and stands out much more clearly in the app and on the homepage compared to a merchant without a deal. Shopping points are now particularly valuable for the customer because whenever they collect shopping points, they know that each point is worth $1. So, he will be eager to hunt for good deals in order to convert his points into money. So, how does the merchant create a cashback deal? To do this, he opens the Partner app. Right on the home screen, he sees Create Cashback Deal in the top left area. As soon as he clicks on it, a slider will appear in the app. Here, he sets how high the deal should be. The minimum requirement is 2% of the normal margin. As a next step, he selects the period he wants to offer the deal. A day, a week, a month, or a year, and the time from and to. For example, a hotel wants to offer a happy hour, one day in a week from 5 to 7 p.m. Or a store might want to create a special deal for 1 week long, or on certain days when it doesn't have as much customer frequency. After that, he clicks on Preview to check the deal, and then on Publish. Done. Very easy and simple. As soon as the deal has been created, it is clearly visible in the app and also on the website, and is an eye catcher for all customers. How does a customer redeem the cashback deal? Very easily. As previously discussed, he scans the invoice, clicks on the merchant, and his shopping points turn into money. If the customer does not have enough shopping points to redeem the deal, it will be registered as a normal purchase. The deal will not be redeemed. Instead, the customer gets the usual margins, cashback, and shopping points right into his account. And next time, he might already have enough shopping points to redeem a cashback deal. Well, that's it. I wish you a lot of success in acquiring your new merchants. All the best.